And we are back with Dr. Joan Shook with Texas Children's Hospital and Dr. J. Tarnow with the Tarnow Center for Self-Management to answer more of your questions. And you said something during the break that I loved. You said, I'm ADHD too.
Oh.
So it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but you look at, like you said, what makes that person sing.
Mm-hmm.
You have another daughter who was kind of meticulous about certain things and ended up becoming a nurse who works in an OR. And she gets the OR room ready, right?
Right. We spent so much time with her teaching these self-management skills, and she loved it.
Yeah.
And she loved being rewarded for being able to organize things. And it's so funny seeing her as a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and now working in the operating room and setting up the operating room.
She had all the Legos in the right color and the right thing. With that said, somebody else had asked a question earlier on the card here. One of our viewers said, with her child's learning disabilities, is college an option for her?
Oh, it certainly depends on what.
You two went to medical school. So.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the child. It depends on what the learning difference is, and it depends on what the child wants to do.
Yeah.
And there are lots of great options that have nothing to do with college now.
Lots of people like Neil Bush, for example, who struggled in school, in grade school, said when he got to college, it was the best time he ever had in school and the best he ever did because he was picking things he was interested in. That ADHD brain loves what it loves, doesn't like what it doesn't like.
That's right.
All right. This next question here is Sandra. I have a rebellious teenage son. His dad and I did everything we could to raise him right, but sometimes I think he hates us. How long until he grows out of this phase?
Wow. Being 70 and watching my children grow up, I must tell you that it is actually amazing at around 20. It depends on which child and their disposition and development. But around the age of 20, something happens, actually, we can see it physiologically, where the prefrontal cortex connects to the rest of the brain, and there's a major transformation. So at 21, the daughter who used to hate me and always be like, saying, you're such a horrible dad, you're so mean and all these things, started calling me every day.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I became brilliant.
Yeah.
And she parents very similar to the way I parent. And when she does it, I'm always laughing about, oh my gosh, yes, I guess she did get it.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, Jay, that even though they look mature and adult when they're 18 to 20 or something like that, their brain isn't mature till 21 to 26. Even some children, of course, we've been talking about continua, even a little older than that.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to let them continue to mature, and they do come around. It's kind of a miracle.
We thought actually each of our children developed at different rates, right? And when that occurred, it's sort of like the feeling that an alien has taken over their body.
Right, like I said earlier.
And this is like a different person. All of a sudden, they're calling you and saying, I love you.
Yeah.
And all these things.
And I think during that process, one of the things, and I know it's hard, I know a lot of us as parents struggle with this, is that you don't want to let them engage you in the crazy. Right? When they're blowing up, you got to calm down. And then, of course, still keeping certain disciplinary things in place. If you want to act this way, there is a consequence with it.
Well, people with ADHD, one of the things you want to learn is not to argue with them, because that stimulates their brain. And what happens is they get this adrenaline rush.
Fight or flight.
And they love it.
Yeah.
Because they love the adrenaline rush to being and it helps them actually focus. And that's why parents come to me and say, my kid should be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Because
they're not giving up. They're not giving up
and they're persistent. And that's a wonderful quality.
If you're in the courtroom.
But you just have to stand still.
Which, by the way, my son quoted the other day, he goes, don't argue with me, Mom. Remember what Dr. Tarnow said? You're going to lose. I'm withholding food and water now, okay? But anyway, all right, this is one of those things that we could talk with you all forever on, and hopefully we can do this show again. But thank you very much for the tips that you've offered us today so far.
You're so welcome.
All right. Well, if you have parenting concerns, you can visit greatdayhouston.com, and we'll connect you to Dr. Shook and Dr. Tarnow. Coming up, a lot of us as parents take it for granted that we were able to have children. Our next guests were already a mom and dad. They just had to figure out where their child was coming from.